Coming off of the triple header YCS weekend here, I need to remind everybody that the market is an infinitely moving creature. Let's dig on into this, shall we? Don't beg 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more Alex content. It's going to be a little bit different style of a market watch here. I do need to remind you that you are coming off of three YCSs, right? Keep in mind that you are going to see, you shouldn't be surprised when I say this, like, you're going to have Kashtira cards being the primary driving force of the weekend here. And I don't know why I need to remind you of this, but we are heading into ban list territory right now. Do keep in mind that Cyberstorm Access is now within that month-ish window of being released. You're on like a 5-month or a 5-week timer here for the release of the set. And I don't know why people are kind of like looking around. They're like, oh man, like picking up Kashtira seems really good. You got to keep in mind that you're coming off of one. That deck has been so degenerate for so long here. And when I go through here and we talk about all the YCS breakdown coverage and everything later on here, I do fully expect to see, Kashtira do its thing. I've heard a lot of reports, a lot of people talking about the deck. Well, Kashtira doesn't feel necessarily the best for like your investment. If I were you in a position right now, I would personally understand that because Kaijus have returned back into the format now, the strategy of a Rise Heart Pass has not been necessarily the best at the moment. So if I'm sitting here like, Kashtira, maybe if I want to drop it for the most value, right now is unfortunately probably going to be the most interesting time to do that, because you're also going to be walking into the possibility of limitations on, Unicorn, Fenrir. It depends on what Konami chooses to do. But since this is a Market Watch style topic video, I just wanted to bring knowledge to, hey, I guess you can always argue that every day we're closer to a ban list. You can always make that argument. You truly never know when Konami is going to do this. But you can't tell me, looking at the next list, walking around the Pokemon Regional this weekend and asking people what their thoughts were on the current Yu-Gi-Oh format, I heard the exact same thing across the board from every single one of them. And the answer was, I don't want to play right now because the zone lock is scary. Now, if you've watched this channel and we've talked about regional results, you know how not 100% true that is. People were shocked when I said that there were at least 10 viable decks that you could play in this format on a regional level and get a potential top with. Every one of them were shocked that that was a thing. They're like, that is actually insane that Yu-Gi-Oh has that much diversity right now. All right, and once again, if you're looking at this format from the outside in, I learned a lot this weekend. I learned that, once again, that the zone lock prevalence BS that has been looming around the format is the big stigmata right now. It's the big thing that people look at right now. They're like, I don't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh because that is the issue. And that's not necessarily the case. And once again, I bring back up the ban list doomsday here. The fact that we are edging further closer here to the annihilation of Kashtira. And I mean, you can always, my favorite part about all of these types of ban lists are there's always going to be the people that will always win. All right, and those are the people that like, I think we're going to play the game. We're going to pick up Kashtira, and the ban list happens the next day. There's also the story of the people that sell Kashtira the next day, or, something that's about to get banned. They either lose money, gain money. It's a wild ride to hear those stories. My other favorite is how they announced the reprint for something, and I just bought my copy last night. And people are just... People get so frustrated over the particulars of these sorts of things. I mean, once again, you already know this, but I'll once again reiterate here. 3 Trap Tricks structure decks get you a playable regional level deck. Well, Pot of Prosperity definitely helps out. When I say that, I mean having those Pot of Prosperities inside your deck to gain filtering options. You don't need them. Alright, like, I definitely want to point that out. That it's not like it's something crazy you have to do, but, like, adding in, like, the Zeus, adding in, like, the extra flavor, Exciton Knight, depending on your build. I've seen builds that were playing Castel. You know, these rank 4 toolbox niche options, except for Zeus, he's not really niche. You know, when you're entering into the game and you're picking up, you know, the particulars of this, I can definitely tell you that a lot of the people I talked to this weekend were, like, actually shocked. And this wasn't, like, a good couple people. This was, like, 10 to 15 people, just kind of walking around, having conversation with people, like, oh my god, MCole40? What are you doing here? And, you know, just kind of talking about the game that you love, the general interest, the general vibe for things. It definitely, you definitely try to use that information to, like, teach you things in the way that people look at the game, especially, you know, when we're deep in the 250th here. And if perception is actually holding up for that, it just looks like another bad Yu-Gi-Oh format, even though that the game has kind of fixed itself here. So, I don't know, I'm genuinely, like, perplexed to see that. It's always interesting to see the viewpoints that people carry for the game. I mean, look at tier format. We saw how not crazy fun that was for most of the casual intermediate player base. I mean, there was always the higher ups of players here that chose to play the deck, and they were like, oh my gosh, I love the mirror match, until the mirror match got very, very boring. But alas, there's that. What else is going on here in the market that really you need to worry about? There's always the futuristic side of the market. I mean, if you haven't really paid too much attention to purely here, besides, like, all of the comments, I keep reading my comment section going, blah, 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 OCG doesn't matter. Purely cards have been going up, and they don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way that this deck would... This is the same BS I say every single video. And it's the exact same thing I encounter every single day. I don't understand it. You've been proven wrong about 10 times at this stage, but, you know, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, doesn't matter. You just keep on doing you, and that's perfectly fine. Those of us that choose to look at the OCG for info will always continue to be one step ahead of the game. But, once again, you can't expect people to learn, right? That's... What was the, yeah, I was going to say, was it, how many times do we have to teach you that lesson, old man, that old stupid TV show? Is that Billy and Mandy? I don't know, I don't remember. Look forward to Vanquish Soul. I don't know if Vanquish Soul will do anything. I keep reading from people, it's like, it's because of the Maxi interaction. You can have the Maxi in your hand as the Earth Monster. I mean, that is a particular thing. Don't get me wrong. We never know how the TCG is going to hold up with things. We also now have the Kaiba briefcase coming out here. That's going to be, I honestly, in my personal opinion, we made that video last night. Looking at the KC briefcase, I think a lot of people, they're happy that the product's coming, but I'm already hearing people complain because they have their money tied up in the pot collection, and they have their money tied up elsewhere. And this was a kind of left field like thing to be announced, being like, hey, you know, we're opening up pre-orders at the end of the month here, and I do feel that a lot more players to kind of come up with the $300, $400, maybe $500 of this product's going to cost, on top of coming off of, you know, the pot collection, where you had to pick up, you know, 3 to have a place. That was like $500. Oh, it was like $560 for a play set. And then you're coming up, like, what, from February, March, April, 2 months later? At this stage, you're coming up with another pre-order product. While I like these styles of products, I think that they're really cool for the game in terms of, you know, what they can bring. Two that close to each other does kind of feel like it's going to choke out the player base a little bit. But once again, we'll have to wait and see. I could be wrong. This is probably going to be a huge success. I guarantee the amount of people that love Kaiba style products or love the briefcase are going to want this. And this does open up the door to the more casual player base side of things. I also wonder if it's going to be advertised well enough to get enough pre-orders in, but it's printed demand, so we'll see how that goes. So what do you guys think? Please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. See your beautiful faces back here. Learn today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.